the world's great novels. This is the story of a man of character, strong and yet weak, turbulent and yet calm, hard and yet sentimental. And against his pastoral English background, he lived by his deeds and died by them and was judged for them. The NBC University of the Air brings you the first of a 5-part radio edition of Thomas Hardy's The Mayor of Casterbridge, another in the series of books that live, the world's great novel.
One evening of late summer, some 100 years ago, a young man and a woman carrying a child trudged along a dusty road in Upper Wessex. They were clad shabbily and powdered with the thick dust of a long and weary journey. The man was a fine figure, swarthy and stern of aspect, and his measured walk was the walk of the skilled countryman. The woman was pretty, even handsome, but weariness had made her face apathetic as she plodded along by the side of her husband. Now, as they walked along the dusty, hedge-bordered road, they met a turnip hoer and hailed him.
Oh, there.
Aye. What be ye?
Can't tell my wife and me what be yon town ahead.
Why, it be Wading Priors. Everyone hereabouts knows that.
We be not from hereabouts. Be any trade doing there?
What kind of trade?
He see me a knife and basket, don't he? I mean, be anything in hay-trussing line.
Well, no. How could there be now this time of year?
Then, be there any house to let? Small cottage or like?
No. No, there's no as much as a thatched girdle to take shelter under. Wading Priors be full to haystacks. What with traders going in for fare and all.
Michael, where will lay our heads? Look at Elizabeth Jane, all tired out, poor child. She be needing bed, and so be we.
You let me manage that when I come to it, Susan.
But, Michael...
I've had naught from you but complaints since we began. We've slept in fields afore this, and we can again. Come, we'd best be moving along.
The hay trusser and his family entered the town and soon came to the fairgrounds. The place was dense with village folk, frivolous journeymen out for a holiday, a stray soldier or two on furlough, shopkeepers, corn merchants, and all manner of country traders. They moved about in a restless flood through the peep shows, toy stands, waxworks, and booths, as traveling medicine doctors, thimble riggers, knick-knack vendors, and readers of fate plied their wares. But Michael Henchard and his wife had little interest in these things. They were looking for a place of refreshment.
Come into my tent and fill your stomach. Try me Burgundy, hot and nourishing Burgundy, the best ever brewed in Wading Priors. Hot Burgundy.
Susan, I've throat full of dust. Huh. Now, yon be booth I'd like to stop by. Good home-brewed beer, ale, and cider is yon side.
Oh, no, Michael. Yon old woman's furmity were better.
Huh?
'Twere good and nourishing after a long, hard day.
What be this furmity? I've never tasted of it.
Why, it be kind of pudding, Michael, with grains of wheat in. Do you like it? It'd be good for Elizabeth Jane.
Still a spot of ale we think for dry throat, and that's what we'll have.
Try me Burgundy, you rigger, you and your good wife and weary child. Come into me tent and try me Burgundy. There's corn in the grain of me Burgundy, and flour and milk and raisins and currants. And if you wish it, rum.
Rum? Do you say rum, old woman?
Aye, I've rum a-plenty to mix with. It makes a noble dish, it does, with me Burgundy.
Well, now, Susan, might be we ought to try a little of this furmity after all. As you say, 'tis no doubt good and nourishing after a long, hard day.
They had a steaming pot of furmity and then another. and Michael Henchard saw that his was strongly laced with rum. At the end of the first basin, he was calm and serene. At the second, he was jovial. At the third, he began to argue. And at the fourth, his mouth clenched, his eyes sparked, and he beat his fist on the table as he addressed the company in the tent.
No, take me, Michael Henson here. I have no more than 15 shillings to my name. And yet I challenge England to beat me in fodder business. Aye, were I man free of family, I'd have £1,000 before I was done. And what be ye, sir?
Me, I'm a horse auctioneer.
Aye, and a shady brood it be, selling mares with hollows to their backs, and lacking one eye.
I didn't ask you for your opinion of my profession.
Nay, but I give it ye free and
Michael,
clear.
please.
Now, what do ye want? Cannot ye see I be talking to yon gentleman?
Michael, thou said enough. Thou becoming quarrelsome. And what about our lodging? If we be not looking soon, we...
Be still, Susan. We'll go when I say we'll go. Ah, you see, sirs. You see what I've done to myself. I were married at 18, fool I were. And this be consequence to it.
Well, now, Henchard, there's nothing amiss with matrimony properly balanced.
Aye. But for my part, I see not why men who have got wives and want them not shouldn't get rid of them like this auctioneer sells his horses.
Michael!
Why not, eh?
Well, now, I've heard of it being done, though not lately.
Aye, and so have I. Why, begad, I'd sell mine this minute. Would anybody buy her?
Michael, I don't know what thou saying.
I do, and I be saying it again. I'd sell her if it was a buyer right here and now.
Well, now, Henchard, I've had my breedings in as good circles as any man. And I know, through cultivation or nobody, that she's got it. In the boat much as any female at this fair.
Hey, you'll be right, Henchard. She be a fair woman, and you're a fool to even jest to this.
Jest? Did he say jest? Well, then, now be your chance. I'm open to any offer for this gem of creation. Come, another bowl of furmity.
Henchard had another bowl, and the crowd in the tent laughed at him and told him to drop the subject. But now, along with the rum, it became an obsession.
No, here. I be waiting. This woman be no good to me. Who'll have her? Who'll buy her, I say?
Oh, Michael, be getting dark. Come, let us go. We must find lodging.
Be still, woman. See, not I be in middle of business transaction, huh? Can you not see?
That don't come along. I'll go we out, me.
No. I asked this question and nobody answered to it. Well, any Jack Rag or Tom Straw among you buy me good.
Oh, Michael, please, for shame. Please stop.
Who'll buy her, I say? Come. Who'll name me a price?
Who'll have me? Will somebody buy me? And I've done with this rockery.
Susan, what did he say?
I want someone to buy me since thou want it. If thou want to be rid of me, I want to be rid of thee. Only I've done with this shame.
Well, no. We both be agreed about that, eh? Very well. Gentlemen, do ye hear? There's an agreement to part. She shall take little girl if she wants, and go her ways. I'll take me tools, and I go my ways. Tis simple as scripture history. Now then, Susan, come, stand up. Show yourself.
I'll do that the quicker to be rid of thee.
Hey, don't you be child. Your good man don't know what he be about. He's befuddled by rum.
And he wants to sell me, old woman. I want to be bought.
I be even me own auctioneer. How much be I offered for this lady?
5 shillings.
No insults. Who'll say a guinea?
I will. Behave yourself, immoral man, for heaven's love.
Get away from me, old woman. Go back to cooking your infirmity. Now then, who'll give 2 guineas for my woman?
2 guineas.
That's it. Now, who'll say 3? Who'll give 3? No bidet. Good Lord, she'll have cost me 50 times the money if she cost me a penny. Come now, speak up. Or it will cost you 4 guineas.
That's a lot of money, Henchard.
Aye, enough to buy a good Jersey cow.
No. 'Tis settled. I won't sell her for less than 5. I'll sell her for 5 guineas to any man who'll pay me the money and treat her well. But she shan't go for less. No, not for less. Now then, for last time, 5 guineas. Does anybody give it? Last time, aye or nay?
Aye.
You there in yon doorway. You say you do?
I say I do.
Ah. Must be a sailor, eh?
I am. And a man of few words. You say 5 guineas, and I say aye.
Saying is one thing, and paying is another. Where's the money?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the money. Well, Enchard, if that be your name, are you serious, or are you not?
A bargain's a bargain.
Michael,
Aye, Susan.
thou can still name it joke and I'll listen. But touch yon gold, and I and Elizabeth Jane go with the man.
I said 'twas a bargain, and a bargain it be. Look, I take the money. This sailor takes you. It's plain enough, huh?
I take the lady only if she is willing. I would not hurt her feelings for the world.
I'll be willing.
That you swear?
I do swear.
Come along, then, and bring the child. The more, the merrier.
Here, Michael, I'll leave you this.
Huh?
The wedding ring. Mayhap it'll bring us still another guinea.
Be she gone? Be she really gone, then?
Ah, you fool, she's gone. You've had your devil's play, and now she's gone. And may those 5 guineas burn like fire in your hands.
The crowd left the furmity tent, looking at Michael Henchard as though he were a pariah. Dimly, he realized that he had done something awful and final. But then the rum took hold, and he fell asleep at the table, his head in his arms. When he awoke, it was morning, and the old hag was setting up her furmity bowls.
You, there, old woman.
So you come awake.
Awake, and with splitting headache. Where be me wife?
Gone.
Eh? Gone? Gone where?
As devil burned your brain. You sold her to a sailor last night. Her and little one. He took 'em both away.
I remember now. Where does the sailor live?
I don't know. I'm a stranger hereabouts.
But I've got to find him. He's got me wife. He's got Susan.
And you've got 5 guineas.
Devil take her. Did she not know better than to walk out with a stranger? Did she not know I wasn't in my senses? It was only a joke.
Ha!
She's just like Susan to be so simple and so meek. Aye, that meekness has brought me disgrace.
Aye, it has. And I own the woman would be better off rid of you. I glory in her spirit. I'd picture myself had I been she, and I'd never come back, even though you split your gullet.
Enough of your prattle, hag. What be the sailor's name?
I know it not. I know it not, and I know not where they went.
But I've got to find her, hag. I cannot lose her. I do not want to lose her. Whatever the woman be, she be my wife. Oh, there, teamster. Will you stop for a moment?
Oh, there, miss. Oh.
Have you seen a sailor, and with him a woman carrying a child, along the road?
No, I have not. Get along there, miss. Get along.
Begging your pardon, ma'am. But have you seen a sailor and a woman with a little child hereabouts?
I have not, and have no time for dirty vagrants to come asking foolish questions.
Well, now, mate, thank you for the grog. And who did you say you were looking for? I've been around these docks a long time, and I've seen a lot of lovers.
For a sailor.
Of us! This is a seaport town and full of sailors.
A sailor with a woman carrying a little girl.
Was the sailor thick set now? And the woman pretty in a way? And the little girl wearing blue boots and knitted yarn?
Aye, man. Where are they? Where did you see them?
Well, no. I seen them go aboard a ship.
What ship? Bound for where?
Mate, I have a bad memory. I can't recall. But they are not in England anymore. Of that you may be sure.
It was then that Michael Henchard, after weary weeks and months of searching, gave up his quest. And when he finally reached a town called Casterbridge, in a far distant part of Wessex, he entered a church and went straight to the sacrarium. There, kneeling on the footpace and dropping his head on the holy book clamped on the communion table, he spoke a vow.
I, Michael Henchard, on this morning of the 16th of September, do take an oath before God. I swear that I will avoid all drink for the space of 21 years to come, being a year for every year I have lived. And this I swear upon the book before me. And may I be struck dumb, blind, and helpless if I break this, my oath.
With the tolling of the bells, we go forward in time and turn the pages of this narrative to a later 10 years have gone by since that day in Waden Priors when the Henchards went their separate ways. Now there'd been a change in the fairgrounds. Business had fallen on leaner days, and there were fewer stalls for tailors, hosiers, linen drapers, and coopers. 18 years, too, brought changes in the two women who now walked into the fairgrounds. One of them was Susan Henchard, dressed in the mourning clothes of a widow. The other was called Elizabeth Jane, a pretty girl of 18.
So this be where he first met father. Hi, Elizabeth Jane. 20 year and old day just like this. Oh, that Richard Newson and me were met. Oh, poor father. To mind he's gone from us now. Drowned to sea. Aye. But, mother, why be we come here now? 'Twere here that our last saw relation we be come to look for. Mr. Henchard? Aye. What be his exact kin to us, mother? He's never clearly told me. He be, or were, relation by marriage. Oh? What kind of relation? Oh, he be a distant relation. And did he never know me? No, Elizabeth Jane. He never really knew we. But, wimp over there. You mean where yon wrinkled woman stirs boiling pot? Aye. 'Tis her I wish to speak to. I recognize her even now. Do thou stay here, Elizabeth Jane. Oh, but why? I wish to speak with her alone.
This Burmady, old ear, good, nice and hot Burmady to suit the king's taste. Aye, with a spot of rum to make it slip down like cordial. And only a halfpenny a cup.
Good evening.
Eh? Oh, you speak to me?
Aye. We met before. You've seen better days.
Aye. Uh-huh. I stood in the fairgrounds, maid, wife, and widow these 39 years. And I've known what it was to do business with the richest stomachs in the land. Ma'am, you'd hardly believe I was once the owner of a great pavilion tent.
Can he call to mind the sale of wife by husband in that tent 18 years ago today?
Oh, let me see, ma'am. I've seen so many things and remember 'em well. I can mind every serious fight a married party, every murder, every pocket picking. You say a man sold his wife?
Aye, he were a rigger, and there were a child with her.
Oh, I do remember now. And the only reason I can mind is the man come back to this fair the following year.
Did he so? What for?
Oh, looking for his lost wife, it seems. And he told me quite private-like that if a woman ever asked for him, I was to say he had gone to...
Aye, tell me where.
Oh, I'm an old one, I be, ma'am. And me memory is creaky.
Oh, here be shillings. Now, where did he say he could be found?
Now I mind. 'Twas Casterbridge. Aye, a place called Casterbridge.
Now, as Susan Henchard, or Susan Newson, as she is now known, and her daughter make their way to Casterbridge, let's recount briefly Susan's adventures. The sailor had taken her to Canada, where they lived indifferently for several years. Later, they had returned to Falmouth to live. As far as Elizabeth had known, she had always been the daughter of Richard Newson. But now that Newson had been lost at sea, Susan had felt that she must search out Henchard. And so, almost penniless, they traveled by foot and farmer's wagon until they drew near the town of Casterbridge.
Mother, what old-fashioned place be this town of Casterbridge. Aye. Look, 'tis huddled all together, and 'tis shut in by square wall of trees, like 'twere plot of garden ground. I wonder if Michael be alive. And if a be, do we prosper or no? Mother, be Mr. Henchard here. Think he you'll really do somewhat for us? I don't know, Elizabeth Jane. 'Tis hard to say. We must inquire discreetly. After all, Mr. Henchard, though he may live here, may be in disrepute, in workhouse or in stocks for all we know. Oh, dear me, I think he's that. Oh, 'twere just something to say. 'Twere naught. But we must make private inquiries, child. Believe me, it were better that way.
And so it was that Susan and her daughter Elizabeth Jane entered the town of Casterbridge. It was an agricultural town, the center of the corn district. The sights would have been fascinating to the two women since they came from a seaport town, but now they were faint with hunger, and they inquired of a woman the way to the nearest baker's.
Well, nu, you'm strangers here, I suppose.
Aye, we be.
We don't see many strangers in Casterbridge. Is it someone you're looking for? Or someone special?
Well, there be relatives as Wim said before. We thank you kindly if you could direct us to Baker's.
Up street and to their side hostelry.
Thank you.
But they might well look for manna food as good bread in Casterbridge right now.
You mean there be no bread to be sold?
Aye, it's sold right enough. But 'tain't fit for eating. 'Tain't one of us but wants for a decent crust right now.
How does it happen there be no good bread?
Oh, 'tis corn factor. He's man all our millers and bakers deal with. And he's old and bad wheaty as. Oh, why, in me own pans, dough runs over like quicksilver. And loaves be black as toads. And like zuit pudding inside. Oh, why, wow, he be real stranger from far away to know nothing of this.
Mother, and we be here thinking what we ought to ask. No, I do not. Not yet. Come, Elizabeth. We'll thank this woman and go along to Baker.
Elizabeth, not knowing of Michael Henchard's relation to her mother, was mystified. And as for Susan, she was nervous and distraught. One great question ran through her mind. How would Michael Henchard, if he were really alive and here, receive her? It would take courage to face him now. If it weren't for Elizabeth Jane, for the long chance that Michael might help her daughter, she'd turn and go back. But now, after Elizabeth Jane and she had gulled their appetites with a few biscuits, she decided that the time had come.
Mother, there seems so much a celebration going on over by hotel. King's Arms. Look, you can see Banquet through yon window on second floor. I better be not thinking on banquets right now.
Oh, Mother, what be it? He looks so pale, so frightened.
Child, I think the time will come when we should inquire about our relative, Mr. Henshaw.
Aye, Mother, and be to ask.
That better ask yon old man sitting on doorstep. Aye, he'd better do us alone, Mrs. Jane. I'll be too wore out to do aught.
All right, Mother.
I'll wait right here. And mind ye, child, do us find out how he stands in town. And don't ye rush right into questions. People will be suspicious when they ask him direct.
Aye, Mother. I beg your pardon.
Well, no, lass, what be it?
Can you tell me what be going on over by hotel tonight?
Well, you must be stranger, sure. See, up there in window
Aye?
is a great public dinner of the gentlefolk, with the mayor in the chair.
Oh.
That is, the mayor and the corn factor both, since he be one and the same.
Oh, Mayor be handsome man, bean't he?
Aye, and rich in corn and gold. There be none richer in Casterbridge than he.
Still, he must be modest man, too. See, all others be drinking wine, and Mayor drinks only water.
True. He be abstainer, not only from drink, but from women, too. For, mind you, he be widower to boot. I've heard tell he swore gospel oath in bygone times, ne'er to touch a drop for many a year. Aye, a man of strong will and principle he be.
Be he Mayor long?
Aye, it is some time now, lass. But I knew him when he first came here. He was hay-rigger, mind you, with not a shilling in his pocket. And now look at him. He be Mr. Henchard, the mayor.
Mr. Henchard be Mayor to Casterbridge?
Aye. But what's amiss, girl? Bedad, you've turned as pale as a sheet.
Elizabeth returned to her mother, only to find Susan staring through the banquet window at the richly dressed man seated at the head of the table. She had completely forgotten her daughter till a touch from Elizabeth Jane aroused her.
Mother, you see him. Son, no, he be Mayor.
Aye, child. I have seen him. It is enough for me. Now I wish only to die.
Mother, what be you saying? Think not he'll befriend us? Why, he look to be generous man, and he gentleman, too, and rich. See his diamond studs shine.
Elizabeth...
How strange he should have said he might be in stocks or in workhouse. And why do you feel somewhat afraid of him?
I cannot face it, child. He be not what I thought he were. We must go away from here at once.
No, Mother. We've come this far just to see him. And if you do not call on him, then I will.
The NBC University of the Air has brought you the first in a 5-part radio edition of The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. Next week, we'll present the second episode. All the great novels you have heard and will hear on this series may be obtained from your local library. To those of you who have enjoyed this series and are eager to know more about the books we're opening for your pleasure, we suggest you get full value from them by reading Herbert Gorman's Handbook of the World's Great Novels. 25 cents will cover the cost of printing and mailing. Request for this handbook should be mailed to the World's Great Novels, Post Office Box 30, Station J, New York 27, New York. The script you have just heard was adapted for radio by Max Ehrlich. Members of the cast included Boris Aplon as Henchard, Alma Platts as Susan, Geraldine Kay as Elizabeth Jane, and Donald Gallagher as the narrator. Others included Hilda Graham, Hope Summers, Wilms Herbert, Kurt Kupfer, Cliff Norton, and Fred Sullivan. The music was composed by Emil Soderstrom. The orchestra was conducted by Joseph Galicchio. The entire production was under the direction of Homer Heck. This is NBC, the national